Welcome to our Lazy R Homestead Kitchen. I'm Heather, and today I'm going to can cranberry sauce. I bought two 8-ounce packages of fresh cranberries. I rinsed and drained my 2 packages of fresh cranberries and picked through them. You want your cranberries to be nice and firm. You don't want them to be like really dimply with sunken in spots like this one, or to have things that are like, it looks like something ate this and then there's a bad spot here. You don't want it to have like a really mushy spot. This one's really mushy here. These are examples of what you don't want. They go in the compost. Let's see if I can show you some examples of what you do want here. Example, this one's nice and firm. A lot of times when they get really dark like this, they're bad, but this one's still good. You can also get really light colored ones. Sometimes are good and sometimes they're bad. This one's kind of on the edge. It's not really hard like it should be. So it's got a little bit of crinkliness to it. I would probably toss this one. These are just extras. This one's mushy. So no on that one. Nice and hard. Let's see if it, you can kind of see how it bounces. $13 3/4 pounds, 392 grams. I'm adding 1 3/4 cups of water. I'm going to turn on the heat and bring this to a boil. I'm going to start it on high heat. You hear that popping? That's the skins breaking open, kind of like a popcorn. You can see some of them, I think. See the little white parts peeking out. The skin burst and spread apart, and the white inside is peeking out. It's starting to smell good. The ones around the edges aren't cooking quite the same as the ones in the middle. Okay. I'm going to turn off the heat for a moment. I've got a stick blender. You could also use a food processor or even just a potato masher. You can also make a whole berry cranberry sauce. That's just not what I'm making today. Ooh, gotta be careful not to get steam burns. I'm not going to completely puree this, just get it mashed up pretty well. So it'll be kind of chunky. I'm not straining out the seeds or skins or anything. Now I need to add 2 cups of granulated sugar. Turn the heat back on. stir that in. I'm also going to turn the heat on for my canner. Let's see, I need to first put my jars in there. Let's see, I'm going to heat up some extra jars just in case something happens. Just check the jars, make sure there's no dings, especially around the rims or any cracks. They should be clean. Okay, so I'm planning to make 4 jelly jars full, but I'm going to have 6 jars and 6 lids sterilized and ready to go in case something happens. Okay. So I need to right front turn that on dual high. All right. And this other pot here has my funnel and my lids in it. And I need to turn that on to heat up. I need to bring both of these things to sanitize at 180 degrees Fahrenheit. So at barely a simmer at my altitude, I'm less than 1,000 feet above sea level. I'm supposed to boil this until it reaches its gelling point. Ball canning book that I'm using the recipe from, it says to take the temperature of boiling water. Mine is about 211 at a regular boil, and a rolling boil is 212 degrees Fahrenheit. And then you add 8 degrees to that, which would be if I use 212 degrees Fahrenheit, add 8 degrees Fahrenheit to it, so I get 220 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's supposed to be the gelling point. This recipe says to boil until almost the gelling point. I'm going to go ahead, one more stir, and then put in my candy thermometer. I don't know, this isn't very deep, so we'll see if I can get a good temperature reading on this. Oh, I got my first bubble here. I'll turn this down slightly. I need this to be 180, so I'm going to get my other thermometer. This is actually a meat thermometer, and I will check the temperature of this. Probably should have covered this up. This would heat faster. Yeah, this is only 118 degrees right now. Let's see, this is about 126 degrees and climbing. So maybe I'll turn this back up a little bit. Okay, almost 130. Okay, wow, 133. I think that I touched the bottom for a second there. Over here. Oops. Yeah, these need to come up. These need to get hot faster. I probably should have turned them on a little earlier. This is about, let's see, that's 225. Wow. Yeah, this is about 215 degrees right now. So it's getting close. I'm just going to get my scraper and kind of scrape down the sides a little bit. The steam has started kind of washing the sides some. Make sure there's nothing sticking on the bottom, which seems to be. I need to be stirring this. I think I need to turn that down a little bit. I'm going to put that down to a medium temperature. Well, it doesn't have a burned smell, but it feels like it's sticking on the bottom a little bit. Ooh, this is looking good. 174, 177, 179. Yeah, I gotta turn this down. 184. Don't go too high. 185. Okay. That just needs to stop getting hotter. Start cooling off slightly. I should be stirring this constantly. I suspect that I need to kind of tilt this to get a more accurate reading. But it's not very high up any longer. It was over 215. Okay, this is almost coming to a boil here. I need to kind of get that to cool down a little bit. It's too hot. Do not want to get it too hot or you'll melt the seal. Whoa, shoot, it just shot up. Uh-oh, now it's past the point. All right, that just shot up quickly. Okay, not quite sure what happened with that. All right, I need this off the heat. Go. I'm going to move this canner over to here. Turn off that burner and turn this one up. Left front. Okay, this is too hot. I'm going to get this off of the burner. So I'm waiting for the canner to finish getting to 180 degrees. 170. I'm going to give this a little stir. I washed off the spatula. Now, I was supposed to take this off the heat, but I'm supposed to also still have it be warm. So I'm going to put it on a burner on low. Some of these are kind of touching the sides of the pan, which you don't want. 180.1. Okay, I just want to turn it down a little bit. I don't want it to get a lot hotter. 181.4. Turn that down to medium. Just leave that there for a couple of minutes. 182. Jam is still hot. Everything over here is still hot. Give this a stir. Just trying to make sure the jars are thoroughly heated. I'm going to take one of the jars. Carefully lift it with my jar lifter. Pour the water out. Set it on a clean, dry towel. Set my gel next to it. Get my funnel. Put my funnel on the jar. And some cranberry sauce. Pour it in a jar. I'm supposed to leave a 1/2 inch of headroom. poke it to make sure this is sterilized here. I think you're supposed to use plastic and not metal, but I'm just going to poke it in the middle. There we go. You're supposed to poke it and make sure there's no air bubbles. And then get your, where's my wand? Oh. This is a little plastic wand with a magnet on the end. Use it to lift the lid out of the water. Sit it on your jar in the right position. And then you can get the ring. And make sure you're getting the ring on there right. You don't want to like tighten it real tight. You just want to get it on there finger tight, sit on there properly. Okay, I'm going to take the next jar out, sit it down, and put this jar in very carefully. Now, I didn't wipe off the rim of the first jar, but it should be pretty clean. I need to tap air bubbles out. This one I need to wipe the rim off. Just take a clean lint-free cloth and wipe the rim. I'm going to take another jar out, pour the water out, set it on the counter. Can you see that? Yeah. Move this handle a little. Put this filled jar in. Put the funnel on. Now, this jelly, cranberry sauce is getting very low. I was expecting to fill 4 jelly jars, but I think I'm only going to get 3. Yeah. Probably because I let it cook a little too hot. Either that or they measure their cranberries a little differently than I do. Alright. Almost deep enough. If it's not deep enough, I'll just put it in the fridge. Looks like it's going to be deep enough though. Okay. Make sure that's not got any air bubbles. Oh, that's a little too deep actually. Looks like I'm going to get to snack on a little tiny bit of cranberry jelly in a couple minutes. And I need to wipe that lid. Clean and dry. Now I'm not using a wet rag, it's a dry rag, so I don't crack the glass. Put the ring on, just till it's finger tight. Okay, so I only needed 3 of the 6 jars, so these can cool and get put away. Set them aside on a clean, dry towel. supposed to have an inch or two of water above the jars. It looks like I do. It's about, it's more like, it's about an inch, so I think I will put just a little bit more water in. So I'm going to take my lids out and put them on the clean, dry towel. Get off of the wand. There we go. Now I've got two of them on the wand. Get off. Get off, I say. Aha. There we go. Now I can pour some of this water in. So I've got hot water. Oops. I'll slosh that. Now I need to turn the heat up for the pressure canner. Okay, left, front, turn that up to high. There is a hair on the canning lid. I do not like that. I wonder if I can just real quick lift this. Oh, I don't think I can get that hair off. Oh. Did it? No. No, the hair is in there. It's like, hopefully that won't be a problem. Okay, I need this straight on the burner. So I'll put it in. The directions say to process this for 15 minutes in a boiling water canner. So I'm bringing it up to a boil. It's a little too high. I should scoop some of that water out. I'm afraid it might kind of boil over the edge if I don't. I like to go with closer to 2 inches over the jars to start with, so that some of the water can evaporate, you know, boil away, come off the steam, and it won't get too low. It is at, ow, it's hot. I'll have to have it off to the side where you can't see it. It's at 204 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 95 degrees Celsius. Once this reaches 211, 212, then I start timing for 15 minutes. And I had turned the temperature down a little bit because there's sort of a, you got to kind of turn down, it's kind of like driving a boat. You got to turn down the temperature before you want the temperature to go down, kind of thing. So you got to kind of reach it along. I set my timer for 15 minutes because it has come up to about 211, 212 degrees. I had to turn down the heat just a tiny bit to keep it from boiling up over the pot. And now we just wait and watch to make sure that it doesn't boil up over the pot and it doesn't lose too much water through steam evaporation, and that it doesn't stop boiling. Keep the temperature just right. And then we'll come back when the 15 minutes is up. It's 14 now. While that's cooking, there's like this little bit that didn't fit in the jars, so I'm going to eat it. Give it a taste. I could have added some spices, but I didn't this time. Just straight up cranberry. And it's really nicely gelled, so you don't think it is? And it's about a little warmer than room temperature. Just cleaning up while that's cooking. canning. I should have a lid on this, but this is actually a pressure canner, and when I even just try to set the lid on loosely, it brought the temperature up too high, and when you take off the lid, it kind of tries to pull the water. It's like got too much pressure, and the water kind of explodes out of it. It gets a little bit superheated. Turn off the heat, turn off the timer, take the jars out, make sure I've got a good grip on it. We're gripping it down too low on the jar. I'll grip it a little higher. Set that there. Show exactly what's in the frame. Now we wait for them to pop. I like to dry off the tops. At the first pop, second pop, will I get 3 pops? The one with the hair in it, sealed, so that's good. Hopefully the hair is just on the outside and not going into the jar. And the last one I pulled out hasn't quite popped yet. It'd be neat if I could actually see it go down. Oh, there it went. Now we just let them cool, leave them where they are, and wait about 12 to 24 hours and test to make sure they're sealed. You're supposed to wait 12 to 24 hours. I think I've actually waited about 25 hours. So I'm just a little late getting back to these. You just take off the jar rings, which should not be very tight. And then just gently pull on the lids to see that they are well secured and are not going to just come off. And they are all sealed. I don't know, is that the one that had the hair in it? Let me double check. I don't think there's a hair in any of these. I don't see one. There was a hair sitting on top of one of them, and it's gone. Yeah, this has a mark of like a hair had been sitting on here. Looked like the hair that was there. So it looks like they all sealed really well, and they'll be able to sit out on the counter instead of being in the fridge, Christy. Ready to go for Thanksgiving, ready to be served at Thanksgiving, and not take up any refrigerator space.
The University of Georgia College of Family and Consumer Sciences hosts a website. I'll put a link in the description. It has current research-based guidance concerning home food preservation. They recommend using all home canned foods within a year. They should be stored in the dark between 50 and 70 degrees Fahrenheit. You should also examine the cans or jars for any damage and the food for any signs of spoiling before opening and eating. Once you open a home canned jar of jelly, you should keep it in the refrigerator below 40 degrees for up to about a month.
Create the life you want to live. Bye.